Hello, everybody. It is December the 22nd today, and this is the video for New Comic Book Day, December 21st, yesterday. Books that released yesterday. I do have a couple back issues that I picked up. Um, so I'll do those first. Let's get the back issues out of the way. One Image title and one Marvel title. So let me grab those. Okay. The first image, or the first Marvel title, let's do that one first. I picked this up. I just dug the cover and I wanted to get this. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. It's Daredevil number 5, current series. And I am going to go ahead and kind of aim this up just a little bit. Let's do that right there. Okay. So I got that, and from Image Comics, I picked up Twig number 5. That came out, and I totally missed it. And yeah, so I wanted to go ahead and grab that. Those are my two back issues that I picked up. Okay. Let's start off this week's haul with independent books. Okay. I picked up from IDW Publishing Dead Seas number 1. And I gave this a read and I enjoyed it. I mean, didn't blow my socks off, but it was a pretty decent story. The gist of it, there's basically a ghost ship that they use to collect ectoplasm for different uses, mostly medical, I guess, and these are prisoners that they put onto this ship to collect this ectoplasm, and they don't tell them how dangerous it actually is, and you find out how dangerous it is, and it ends with a cliffhanger of a possible pirate ship robbing them, or going after the pirate ship, or going after the prison ship. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Like, are all the prisoners going to escape? What's going to happen there? So, even though I didn't think it was incredible, I am still kind of drawn in. I'll give it another issue or two. If I don't really like it after that, then I'll probably end up dropping it. But I'll stick with it for now. Okay. And I picked up from Titan Comics Gun Honey, Blood for Blood, number 4. And I don't know what it is about this book, but I just thoroughly enjoy this book. It's action-packed, always action-packed. And, it's kind of a, you have to suspend belief a little bit now and again, It's not always realistic, but who cares? It's kind of fun. It's crime-ish. It's the agency versus, going after the innocent type. It's just kind of a nice dynamic. I really just enjoy it. So those are my two very independents. And I believe that is the last issue of Gun Honey. And there's, in the back of the book, it did say that they're coming out with another series next year. So can't wait. I'll be buying that one for sure. Now we will do Image Comics. Okay, Image. What did we do with Image? We have Junkyard Joe. This was a good book. I like Junkyard Joe. I like the dynamic of this family that moved in next to our focus of the book, Muddy Waters, the cartoonist who drew Junkyard Joe for years. There's a family that they lost their mother and they moved in next to Muddy. They just kind of... The dad moved for a job, yes, but it's also kind of just wanted to escape. They're from San Francisco, and he wanted to get away. after losing his wife, the mother of the kids and whatnot. And I kind of like the, the the dynamic of that family kind of cracks me up. If you've had a family with daughters and a young kind of smart ass son, it just kind of made me crack up a little bit. This family dynamic, and then the dynamic with Joe and Muddy. I just like it. This is a good story so far. It didn't really focus on anything other than the family, the neighboring family in this issue, really. So there was no action as far as who were the people coming after Junkyard Joe. We didn't learn any of that. It was mainly, building up on that family and what their deal is, and their kids' school day and how that went and that kind of stuff. And I enjoyed it. Okay, here is Vanish number 4. And I binged Vanish number 1 through 4. And I gotta say, this is a good read. I really enjoyed this. It read quick. It was well paced and it was easy to read. Not over dialogued. The art is fantastic. Just a good story. So yeah, I went back and I had to catch up on this one. Really good. I really enjoyed it. Okay. And I got from Image Gunslinger Spawn, 4 copies of number 15. And this was also very good. It was there wasn't a whole lot going on in this one. I'm having a hard time kind of drawing a blank. The one thing that really stands out in my mind of this was it did introduce a new character. It was almost a cameo. He wasn't really in the story a whole lot, but he did have a speaking line on the last page. And there was no name given for this new character. It's kind of an anti-hero, I take it. It's not exactly good, not exactly bad type of thing. Interesting. And I'm interested in continuing it on and reading more. That is all of Image. Now we will look at DC Comics. DC Comics. Here is World's Finest number 10. And this was mainly a cover buy for me. There is a reveal. I got 2 copies. There is a reveal of, I think, from what I heard anyway, there's a reveal of the identity of Boy Thunder. I haven't been reading this. I read the first 2 issues, so I'm not gonna jump in and really. It's not a good jumping on point, I don't think. So I'm not even going to bother with it. But man, that cover of the year for me, maybe. Really incredible cover. I also really like, as far as cover of the year category, I really like one that pops in my head is Black Panther number 3. Came out in February with the first appearance of Tosin. That's an awesome Alex Ross cover too. But man, this cover just is amazing. And also got Dark Crisis number 7. I did read this book, and I gotta be honest, I was lost. I had no idea. I have not really been reading this. I read the first issue, and that was it. So I was really just kind of lost. I don't know what's going on. So I'm not really a DC guy. It's not really my thing. So I did read it, but I didn't have a clue what was happening. So that's all I got from DC. Okay. And now we're going to go to Marvel. Marvel. All right. First up is Gold Goblin number 2. And I enjoyed Gold Goblin number 2. just as I did number 1. It's just more of Norman Osborn trying to keep his sanity, really, and everything that he's gone through. And Queen Goblin made an appearance in this, and yeah, I need notes. I'm drawing blank again, but I really did enjoy this issue. I know that. So, yep, Gold Goblin. Looking forward to more. Okay. Picked up, did not read Wolverine number 28. Wolverine is one of my favorite characters, but I'm just not excited about anything in the X-Men world right now at all. I'm not excited enough to read it. So I'm collecting it, but I'm not really reading it. I can't get into it. I can't get into X-Men, and I can't get into anything that is related to X-Men, unfortunately. So I did collect it. I will collect it, but I'm just not really into reading it. Okay, here is Spider-Man, The Lost Hunt. This is number 2. This is pretty much a cover buy, and it's a Spider-Man book buy, you know. You can't read them all. I don't think you can read them all, you know. This is a Spider-Man title that I'm collecting, but I'm not necessarily worried about reading it. I'm not too interested in reading it, to be honest with you. I like main story continuity stuff. This is kind of, I view it as like an offshoot. But man, look at that cover. The cover's amazing. So yeah. Spider-Man, The Lost Hunt, number 2. Okay. Here's an interesting one. This is Mary Jane and Black Cat, number 1. Dark Web tie-in. And I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I am a big fan of Black Cat, and I like Mary Jane, but there's like a different twist now going on with Mary Jane that is kind of a great big question mark. What is going on with Mary Jane? Mary Jane all of a sudden in this shows up and she has like lottery type powers where she can pull a handle and, you know, she gets granted a power. Like what? But it's interesting, and she turned into a big pile of pudding. That was one of her powers in this. But like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And what is going on? I have to read number 2. We have to keep reading this because I need to know what's going on with Mary Jane. So, yeah. Okay. And finally, is this the last book? I think this is the last book. This is Black Panther, number 12, which I have not read yet, but I will read that because I do like Black Panther. So, yeah, I guess that's it. So what are we looking at? We got 3 here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 comic books today. And that's about what I said I would get in my last video and the look ahead, the pickup part of my last video. I said I could get 17 to 19 books, and that's what I got, 19 books. But yeah, so that is the haul, and stick around. I'll do my slideshow of what's coming out this next new comic book day and what I'm looking at picking up. All right, thanks a lot and stay tuned. All right, guys. Well, I got a order in from my comic shop. Today is Friday, December the 23rd. In 2022, and yes, I just got in some books from my comic shop, so I'm going to add them onto this week's new book haul. Now, these books were shipped to me on December the 9th, so they're actually a couple weeks old. but they just kind of got lost in the mail. I don't know what happened. They just now showed up 3 weeks after they were shipped. Well, 2.5 weeks. So anyway, here, let's get to it. I have Amazing Spider-Man number 13. And I bought 2 copies of that. Okay. Here we have Gold Goblin number 1. And I got 2 copies of Gold Goblin number 1 from my comic shop. And I really enjoyed this story. And I just read number 2. And I thoroughly enjoyed that as well. And let's move this just a touch up. There we go. Okay. And I ordered and bought 2 copies of Amazing Spider-Man number 14, and I do believe this is the first appearance of the Gold Goblin. I could be wrong. And let me silence my phone. I'm using it for light here. And I do not... well, maybe they won't text me again. Alright, here is from Image Comics. My only Image comic I got, I believe. 8 Billion Genies, number 6. Which is cool. I'm glad I ordered that because I am trying to collect this series. And I don't remember my comic shop having that. My LCS. I don't think they had that. Okay. Here is Strange Academy number 2. And I picked up 3 copies of Strange Academy number 2. Okay. And this one is a back issue, actually, that I threw onto my order there because for some reason I missed this one. This is Strange Academy. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 9. And I picked up 2 copies of that. I am collecting the entire Amazing Spider-Man run this time. And I just noticed that I did not have number 9. I don't know what happened there. So I picked that up. And in addition to my 3 copies that I purchased from my LCS, I ordered 2 copies of Miles Morales Spider-Man number 1. The new edition, if you will. And I did enjoy this book when I read it. I will say that, but I was a little worried while I was reading it because they were about to make Miles a pretty unlikable character with some of the things that were going on. But he was reeled in by the adults in the book, and they acted like adults, and yeah, so kind of straightened them out, if you will. So that was nice to see. But I did end up enjoying it. And maybe this character, I'm the first to admit I've never really been into Miles Morales at all. I've never really followed anything and never really read much of anything. But I'm trying to dive in and I'm trying to, make this the series that I read of Miles, And the first issue that came out, he was talking to a police officer talking about, you guys don't come down in this area because of people that look like me. And I was like, oh no, here we go, But to my surprise and to my delight, the police officer, or, the enforcement officer of whatever kind she was writing in her report or whatever. And she says, kid, I don't know. You're wearing a mask. I have no idea what you look like. But based on what you said, I can take a guess. So I was like, oh, that's pretty good writing, So I did actually enjoy it. He kind of said some stuff. He was back talking and being a little, ass to a teacher in class and stuff, and I was like, oh, they're making him a pretty unlikable character here. But yeah, so. But it turned out okay. You know, he got straightened out. He had a long heart to heart with his parents. The teacher was an adult with him. The officer was an adult with him. So it turned out to be okay. And I am looking forward to reading on to number 2, as I'm looking forward to this new Raneen, this Raneen character that they introduced in this book. So this is key. And she's rumored to be becoming some character called Rabble in issue number 2. So yeah, pick up issue number 2 for sure. But that's it. This is my additional comic haul onto this week. And I've been doing some research into what's coming out next week. So I will tack that on once I, probably in a couple days when everything's settled and I know exactly what's coming out and what to look for. I'll tack that on to the end of this. All right, guys. So we'll see you then. Stay tuned. All right, guys. And now to take a peek at what is coming out this week and what I am looking forward to picking up. First off, with the Independents, this is Duel number 4, which it's been a few months since this has come out. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to picking this one up, for sure. Okay. Next we have Year Zero, Volume 0, number 3. And I read the first issue, but I haven't read any since. And I liked it. It was a good kickoff, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, I will be picking this up as long as the shop has these. These independents sometimes are hit and miss with the shop. So hopefully they have it and I'm able to pick it up on Wednesday. And on to DC Comics. So it's kind of a light week for independents. So we're moving to DC here. And Action Comics 1050 is a new format, I think. I believe that they're doing almost like an anthology type thing now with Action Comics. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm interested in seeing how it plays out or how it works. I'm only going to pick up cover A. There's about a zillion covers for this issue this week, and I'm just picking up cover A. Batman Beyond the White Knight number 7 is out this week, and I think I've missed a couple issues, but this is going to be a game time decision whether I pick this one up or not. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be picking this up. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's a possibility. All right, this is Blue Beetle number 2, Graduation Day. And I'm not really I'm not a Blue Beetle fan at all, but this is, from what I understand, the first appearance and a cover appearance of this gold Beetle character. Right there on the cover. So, yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. I'm picking that one up for sure. It's got potential to be an immediate key. I'll probably buy a couple of those. I'll probably buy a couple of the Action Comics 1050s as well. And Detective Comics. I always buy Detective in Action. So here's Detective. And Amazing Spider-Man number... What number is it? 16 comes out. And of course I'm buying that. I'll probably buy at least a couple copies of it, as I always collect Spider-Man. So, yep. And I'm kind of digging Dark Web. It's kind of a cool story. I'm really liking it. So, let's keep it going. Moon Knight has been really good. This is, I don't even know what number this is. 16? 12? 15? 13? I don't know. 18? 20? Doesn't say with this cover shot I got, so who knows. But, yep, this one's getting, I'll be picking this one up for sure. Moon Knight's been really good. And She-Hulk. None of the issue numbers are on these books. This is number 9. I got these screenshots from Midtown Comics. And, yeah, they don't have the numbers. I know this is number 9. And She-Hulk, this book's been pretty good, actually. I've enjoyed it. So I'm going to continue on this one. This is going to be a game time decision, this Murder World Spider-Man. I don't know. I might pick up a copy of it just because it's Spider-Man. But I'm not really too interested in this weird offshoot stuff. And Strange Academy Finals number 3 or 4, I forget which it is, comes out. And it's kind of the battle gas lamp comes to Strange Academy. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And Star Wars The High Republic number 3 is out, and there is word of a first appearance in this. I'll probably buy at least a couple copies of this book. And same with The Blade. This is first appearance of Porter Engle's sister. I forget her name, but obviously it's going to be a key. So I will be picking up at least a couple copies of this. It's going to be a big week. Timeless, with a new 2022 issue. And Timeless is kind of like the .1 that used to come out for Marvel. Now they're doing this Timeless book, which kind of is going to foreshadow things that are happening going forward with Marvel for the next year, so I don't know. But with that in mind, I'm going to buy at least a couple copies of this issue because there could be something new put into this book. And Venom, number 12, I believe. This is another Dark Web tie-in. And I like Venom. You know, I don't read like the some of the more obscure Dark Web tie-ins, but I will read Venom because I'd read it anyway. So, yeah. And Extreme X-Men, I read issue 1 and really liked it. It was like the X-Men of old, and it didn't really take much. It was just kind of a simple story, the way that they reacted with each other and they interacted and stuff. It just felt like the X-Men to me, instead of sitting around a table talking about who's going to do what, when they're going to do it, how they're going to do it, and where they're going to do it. The whole issue after issue. That's what you get in X-Men these days. And then someone dies, no problem. They're resurrected. So yeah, X-Men sucks right now. But this book was good. Issue number 1 was good. I enjoyed it. It's classic Chris Claremont and Salvador LaRocca on art, and it's just a classic look. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this one goes this week. And that is all I got. So let's see. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. A possible somewhere around 23 book haul this week. So yeah, it's going to be, that's a pretty big comic book haul. But a lot of good stuff coming out here to, send 2022 off with a bang. So yeah, looking forward to looking forward to comics this week. It's going to be a really good week. So, all right, guys. I hope you guys have a great new comic book day, and I hope you get everything that you want. Let me know in the comments if I missed something, because I'm always open for suggestions of books that are coming out, what you think might be good to get. But yeah, that's it. So we'll see you next week, and bye for now.